On this adventure, we continue the road trip from northern Botswana down through most of the game parks and into the town of Maun in central Botswana. This trip took us roughly 7 days. Now, you can get from north to south on nicely paved roads like these, but as you may expect, we won't be taking these roads. Instead, we will be traveling hundreds of kilometers on roads, yes, roads, like this.
Now we know what's in store for the next 2 weeks.
Want some mud?
Oh yeah, our first mud hole.
No, come on, you just missed it!
Averaging 35 kilometers an hour.
Good job.
Through foot-deep sand.
At least 20. Lots of elephant.
Lots of elephants.
Little dugouts. Where they mud themselves.
Yeah, that's true actually.
They dig those holes.
They dig those holes.
Why?
That's where they get their mud.
The mud to cool off, sure.
No, it's not to cool off, it's the sun protection.
Oh, sun protection, you're right, Alex.
Now, we really don't want to end up like this guy, so we are just going to take our time, like this guy.
I like how this one has like arrows pointing at different things.
Making our way to a campsite at Linyanti camp. Haven't seen anyone else around.
Not even staff. We haven't seen the
Our camp is just on the edge here. Having a semi-cold drink after that long dusty trail in.
It's still kind of busy. Cold. Yeah, it's definitely too busy.
Boys are set up in their respective positions. Their offices are pretty nice today. Looking out onto the river and the marshland. Although they are a little far away, there are elephants out there that we've spotted, hippos. I'm sure there's crocs. Who knows what else?
I just turned the camera on because the hippos were making a lot of noise. Just out here. Just out here.
Oh, yeah, what a good idea. Do you think we could stand one up like this? On top? Like that? Do you like that? That's the ending of the tower. Oh.
It was a good couple days downtime at Linyanti, and before we knew it, we were back on the road, taking the shortcut recommended to us by the caretaker at the camp. They said, it's got deep sand, but your truck can make it. And to give you an idea on timing, this section was 38 kilometers long, and it took us a full hour and a half. It was the deepest sand we would encounter on the whole trip. It challenged the driver, but I don't think it truly challenged Elizabeth.
Living your dream, love?
Pretty much.
Driving a Land Cruiser through Africa. How's it going, boys?
Good. Yeah.
Enjoying the sandy roads?
Yep.
You gonna help push us out if we get stuck?
No.
Gonna feed Dad to the lions?
Yep.
Alright. I don't know.
They jumped like the entire road.
Unfortunately, not all the wildlife we spotted was still alive, and we did come across the remains of 2 elephants. This first one, as you can see, was pretty old and the bones were well sun-bleached. But this second one was a little more recent to the fact that the odor was still quite apparent, so we didn't hang out in this area too long. This bird, though, it was very much alive. Our campsite in Kauai was set on the edge of a marsh which was home to one friendly hippo named Solo. He did walk by, but he didn't stop in for tea.
But we had to make sure. Welcome.
Hey, buddy.
Welcome to Moremi Game Reserve.
Thanks for having us. Yes, that elephant's name is Moremi.
It was a regular occurrence to have to stop for animals crossing the road, and elephants were no exception. This is just one example we caught on camera. The other less known fact about elephants is how much damage they cause, and as you travel the roads in elephant territory, you'll come across downed trees and branches at a somewhat staggering rate.
Video. Hopefully we'll see it again tomorrow night.
Assuming we make it.
We will make it.
How many hours have we been in the car today?
Might have just killed a bird.
No, it lived.
50.
No, today.
Oh. 10.
We are working on 12.
We had a bit of a mission. We didn't have the right supplies to go into Moremi Game Reserve for 3 nights, so we had to detour to Maun for the day, which was a 3-hour drive out of the park,
And a 5-hour.
and then a 3-hour drive back.
But it was longer.
So for anyone wondering what my stress face looks like, this is it, and it's real. It's getting dark, our maps are proving useless, and we've still got a ways to go before we find our camp. It would only be fitting that this happens when we are heading to Third Bridge, the furthest camp you can drive to in the Moremi Game Reserve, and we are proceeding only by picking the road that looks most traveled.
Lions use this bridge?
Lions use this bridge, people use the bridge, trucks use the bridge.
Maybe. That's what buffalo. Yeah, see.
We're good on this side. to arrive before dark.
Almost.
We definitely did that.
Almost.
It's not
Almost.
dark yet. Is this?
Determine the position of every individual within the shoal. These devices have revealed that fish use electric fields.
Miles had a little incident throwing a piece of wood at a seed pod and put a 1-inch sliver into his thumb, which has caused a fair amount of bleeding.
We're good.
But I think it's gonna be all right. Here's the splinter that did all the damage.
Can I see?
Medical situation number 2 was Charlie's feet. We have no idea what's going on here, but we knew one thing for sure. They were going for a soak in this bucket. With his feet cleaned up and shoes on, Charlie got back to playing in the sand.
What did you cook up?
Seed from the tree.
Yeah, can you see those all hanging up there? So we got one down and you cooked it up and that's your lunch.
I'm not being a test dummy. I think Charlie can.
Oh. You gonna put some jam? Put some jam on it?
No, not in it. We're gonna inject it into it. It's gonna be a pastry.
Yummy.
No, Mommy's the test subject because he's the oldest.
We packed up the truck for an evening game drive, and although it was a nice drive, we really didn't see much other than these couple of giraffes and the other safari truck ahead of us.
This guy over here beside you, Dad.
He's just hanging out.
Hey, buddy. Oh, it's on the fire. We'll see how she looks in a little while.
I don't know how we're gonna get it out.
Well, she looks pretty good after an hour.
So the bread has turned out fantastic by the looks of it. We just gotta
Well, let's not count our chickens before. Oh, she's hot. She's hot, hot, hot inside.
looks like bread.
During supper that night, we had a couple of very large visitors. A mama elephant and her young one strolling through for a bite to eat. It truly was dinner and a show. Also, the bread was delicious.
Good morning. It is bright and early. We're out for a morning game drive. There's Daddy.
I'm gaming.
Good morning, boys.
Morning.
And we all agree that African sunrises and sunsets are the most beautiful in the world.
The morning game drive turned out to be far more successful than the evening one a couple nights ago. The baboons were also up bright and early, but this was no surprise as they are always up early. What was a surprise is when we spotted this guy strolling across the savannah looking for a place to spend his day. This was truly a special moment.
My heart is beating.
Now, if you're wondering what all the fuss is about here, we had a bit of a moment with this grumpy hippo. We had pulled up here just to have a look and get some pictures, but this big boy wasn't happy with our presence and he bluff charged us. Came at us with 3 real quick steps until half its body was out of the water. There was plenty of screaming and a bunch of "start the trucks," but ultimately he stopped quicker than we could do anything. I did get the truck running and backed up a little bit, which was good because shortly after this he did it again. This time we were ready though, took the hint and moved on. It seemed a few of the animals were feeling feisty this morning, as not too long after we came upon these two having a little row. And if that wasn't enough, we got to watch these two giraffes neck battle for a good 5 minutes. You can't really hear it over the oohs and ahs in the car, but we could actually hear the impact, and there were some unsettling hard hits.
Oh, I don't have to go over First Bridge. I can just go around it, but I feel like it's way cooler to go over it.
I feel like it's wet in the wet season. Yeah. Well, mine's already a couple did more than just shake. That's
After crossing First Bridge on the way out, we had finished our time in Moremi, and as such, we were about halfway down Botswana. Our rental agency had wisely suggested a lodge stop at this stage in the trip, so we made our way to Maun and quickly settled in to the Island Safari Lodge. With the spiders.